Hey, Swing Vaulter here. TNH Outdoors asked us beta testers to try out their new sleeping bag that they've brought to market. It is their 32 degrees Fahrenheit envelope sleeping bag. So, got online, ordered it off of Amazon, got ready, did the review for them. They do provide a little bit of a kickback to help review the products, to help cover the cost of purchasing it. But we have the bag here. It arrived the other day. Got to pull it out, got to play with it a little bit, let my kids play with it. And if I can survive my kids messing with it, it's not too bad. So, comes pretty standard in their compression bag. I like their compression bags because it's 4 straps that crisscross on the bottom and on the top. Makes life so much easier for compressing it down. You just keep grabbing the straps and pulling it and pulling so you get about as tight as you can without ripping the bag, and it compresses it down probably another inch or 2. So great if you want to. Like I said, this sleeping bag is geared more towards the campers, people who are taking it up on an overnighter, driving up in the car. Really not geared towards the hikers. That is more their mummy sleeping bags, which you see I have hanging on the wall, which weigh way less. And so, but other than that, it's more, like I said, your envelope sleeping bag that you find at most of your camping stores. Let's open it up and take a look at it. Like I said, it's rated down to 32 degrees. There are 3 seasons, so fall, summer, spring. Not geared towards winter unless you have mild winters like I used to have in Arizona when we used to live there. But otherwise, we've got their sleeping bag. Like I said, your pretty standard envelope sleeping bag you see across the board with a lot of them, with their standard stitching and your hood to help keep your head warm. I like how big it is. I am 6'1", and it fits me perfectly, and with even some room. So someone probably up to about 6'3", 6'4", give it a try. Oh. So, just sitting here standing. Woo! Wiggle all in here. And standing up covers me perfectly. So, with plenty of room to move around, I'm able to stretch. One thing I find with the mummy sleeping bags, like my wife, she gets very claustrophobic in them. These give you plenty of room. And a little hood with your cinch cable over here. Cinch it up. And hello! Nice and comfortable. I'm already starting to get warm in this thing. Like I said, I tried it out the other day when I first got it and opened it up, unzipped it, used it as a throw blanket on the couch, and yeah, it'll keep you warm, to maybe even too warm sometimes. But other than that, your standard Velcro to protect your zipper. You've got your double zipper, so you can zip it from the outside and the inside, all the way down. Comes undone. And then, of course, on the bottom, you've got your second zipper. Only difference that I saw on this one is this is not a double zipper. You can't unzip it from the bottom up if you're inside of it. But it is a lock zipper, as in the ones that you've got to pull up on to unzip, which I do like for keeping it secure in place. So, great for keeping it in place so you don't have it zipping. So I've had that in bags where you're there and all of a sudden your zippers start working its way up and out. Very soft inside, not full of a ton of padding, but over padding is not always guaranteed for keeping warm. Like I said, I was already getting warm in that. I'm glad I'm out. But it will keep you warm with very little insulation. So you don't have all that extra fluff. It gets right down to business. And it does have the waterproof shell, which is nice when you are camping in the rain because you got caught in it. Or my favorite problem is when you're in a tent, you wake up in the morning and there is condensation over everything in your tent because it got colder than what you expected. There was no ventilation, and now all your gear has condensation. And if you're just in a blanket, you are now soaked. But waterproof, nice to be able to just brush off the water, quickly dry out. But the inside is not your shell, nice soft material. And we're going to give this a test. I'm going to set up camp in the backyard because there's still snow in the mountains. So we're not going out into that to try it out. Even though we're in spring in Utah, it is still cold up in the mountains. So, but outside it's been getting around in the morning. It's been around 35 and a little bit lower. So it'll be a nice test to see if it really does keep me warm down to 32. So next time I'll see you is waking up in the morning inside the tent.
Good morning. Well, we did spend the night out here testing out the sleeping bag, and as you can hear, we had rain. Got rained on all night, but luckily stayed nice and dry inside the tent. So, a couple things after truly testing, hitting the field with the sleeping bag. It got down to about 40 degrees last night. For the most part, stayed warm. I intentionally slept with no socks on just to kind of test it out. And my feet did get a little cold, so definitely wear socks if you're going to go out in colder weather. But for the most part, stayed warm. Just had a light sweater on and some flannel bottoms on. Stayed mostly warm. Got a little chilly here and there, like I said. Truly testing this down to 32, you're might going to get cold. You might want to bundle up a little bit more. But for a typical summer out on the trail, you shouldn't be too bad. It does pretty well. For me, like I said, I'm 6'1". I did max out the sleeping bag actually sleeping in it. My feet were against the bottom of the sleeping bag the whole time. So, if you're bigger than 6'1", kind of don't recommend the sleeping bag. Look for the extra large ones. But if you're shorter, your children, it's going to work perfect. Width-wise, I kind of like to sleep in the fetal position to get warm sometimes. Pull my knees up and kind of curl up inside the sleeping bag. Couldn't do this on this one. We're just inches off. I can get my legs, I can slide them up, I just can't pull them all the way up. So, but not a game changer, no big deal. It was still plenty of room to move around, flip over. The biggest things were, like I said, my feet got a little bit of cold, and that's probably more due to just being right next to the zipper and air coming into the zipper. It's just, it is what it is. It'd be nice if there was material that flips over the zipper to help cushion the air a little bit more. Not that big of a deal. That's a lot of times on higher end sleeping bags. The other thing was the hood was nice to keep my head warm. I did flip that onto me quite a bit to keep the top part of me warm. The problem was the zip cord, the strap. As you saw, there is no padding. As you get around on other sleeping bags, there'll be a baffle that's right over it to protect it. So when I cinched it up, it just rubbed against my head, against my chin and all that. It was quite uncomfortable. So I had to just uncinch it. It was not very comfortable to cinch it up to help trap in the air. So that'd be a big change I would suggest for them to do, is to add some cushioning around that. Outside of that, it was your sleeping bag. Comfortable wise, I'm a hammock camper, so my opinion is not the best on that. I'm not comfortable sleeping on the ground anymore, but that has nothing to do with the sleeping bag. That is personal preference, to be the joys of being in the air, swinging around in a hammock. But it did the job. Had a decent night's sleep on the ground, which I haven't done in a while. So, all in all, not a bad, like I said, it's a lower end sleeping bag for your kids and going on car trips. It'll do the job. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section of the video, and I'll gladly get back to you and answer them.